Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Review. So latest the films that didn't get wide release in theaters because theaters were all closed, didn't make much money because no film can right now, and found its way on the internet because that's what most films are doing right now. It's a film called Inheritance. This is written, apparently this is from a first time writer, and the director is Von Stein. He made a film called Terminal, starring Margot Robbie a few years ago, and he's also been a second and third unit director for a whole bunch of Hollywood films, so clearly he wants to become a full-fledged director. This apparently played at, I think, Tribeca a year ago and has been sitting on the shelf. And Vertical Entertainment, a studio that I will get to later on because they are worth noting here, folks. And so Lily Collins stars as Lauren Monroe. Now, Lily Collins should be a warning flag because one, Lily Collins is not an actress. Two, Lily Collins, to me, is not an actress who can get butts in seats. And three, is anyone ever clamoring for, oh, let's go see the latest Lily Collins picture? Her father, played by Patrick Warburton, who is, I guess, a highly respected figure in Wall Street and New York in general, suddenly dies. He has a brother played by Chase Crawford. Nate Archibald himself, who's like, hooray, I finally dumped all the Gossip Girl people, is now a congressman. And of course, who's running for a second term. As we're told throughout the film, he's being accused of bribing union officials for their votes. And given the fact that, yes, this is an upper crust family, would you not expect him to be such beneath such things? As I mentioned, Patrick Warburton dies of apparent heart attack, and obviously the lawyer, played by Michael Beach, Pike, and the father from The Pitch, comes in, doles out what's in the will, and then goes about, giving Lily Collins something else. In and of itself leads to something in their backyard, or something out in the woods, which leads to an underground bunker that leads to a chained up Simon Pegg. Now, granted, if anyone was in this situation, and basically, Simon Pegg gives Lily Collins that my name is Morgan Walker, I have been chained up for 30 years, and tells a story about how Lauren's father, cheated on her mother, and, they killed a person and buried his body out back. Would anyone believe that? Of course, certain evidence turns out indeed to be true, including about the mistress and the body as well. Of course, any rational person would think to themselves, should I let this person go? And of course, given the fact that this is a highly charged public family, you probably wouldn't want to let them go. Or if you do let them go, you give them a whole bunch of money, tell them to get lost, probably sign a non-disclosure agreement. And obviously, he just basically says to her in the beginning, a lawyer, a banker, and a politician, the unholy trinity of things. And again, as I said, Lily Collins cannot act to save her life. I just do not buy her as an actress. Just because you're Phil Collins, granted, there are a whole bunch of celebrity kids who probably should not grow up to be actresses or actors. And apparently Simon Pegg, did 6 months of weight loss training to get into this role, and congratulations, you did that regiment all that well, but I still have to watch and pay for this film here. We also get to Vertical Entertainment, because they're responsible for such classics as Patient Zero, a film that made my worst list, LBJ, the non-Bryan Cranston, Lyndon Baines Johnson film, The Layover, which, oh my god, no. And they made Polaroid, yuck. Jacob's Ladder remake, oh boy. And then they also made Capone, which apparently that's a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes as well. Now, if they're that studio, and they're partnering here with DirecTV again, if they're the studio that happens to sniff out bad scripts or bad films in general, congratulations to them. They're the new, Canon Studios. This obviously also answers the fact is, why do I hate reviewing certain type of films that get me views? The synopsis says, oh yeah, family secrets are going to be revealed. They're not really family secrets when we know what's going to come out of Simon Pegg's mouth. And obviously the big reveals do happen in the final 15-20 minutes. They're not surprising. They're not shocking. I mean, Simon Pegg gives a heavy performance, and I guess to some people it's gonna be like, wow, how could Simon Pegg pull off such a grand performance? I think it's one of the dumbest things he's done. And given the fact this man has done the Star Trek, also the Cornetto trilogy, Simon Pegg can act. But when I first meet him, he's like, I want a steak, a rare one, and a 30-year-old bottle of bourbon. And then he constantly rants off the recipe for key lime pie. Now, clearly, audiences are starved for good entertainment. They shouldn't be this starved for entertainment. In the end, folks, what I'm going to say about Inheritance, I can't quite give it my lowest rating, but it comes close, and I say, well, I see this when you're drunk. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'm at Michael Richard Reviews 2 on Twitter. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.